What's going on, everybody? John Riggins coming to you for this Infinity Trinity finale review. Walter, this one's out for you, buddy. So I just got through watching and doing the live stream chat with you and everybody else, and it's really awesome to see just how excited you got with everybody there and how happy you were that everybody was tuning in to share this monumentous moment for you, man. Like, this is great. And I really only have a few notes. So let's talk about the actual episode here, and I'll do my best to try to remember. I've got my notes, so we should be good. The show kind of opens up with Stax and him talking about, like, you guys are a bunch of freaking losers, you know, I should kill every single one of you. And immediately there is an improvement from Stax from the last episode into this episode. I don't know if it was a directorial choice, an actor choice, or what, but he was much more menacing in this one. And I love Uncle Polly. Just a great couple of characters there. Very this kind of Heckle and Jekyll type deal. And it's just an automatic just kind of improvement. And then it kind of cuts to Riley and Eddie trying to figure out what they're going to do in their quest to rescue their friends and see what they can do. I'm going to fix the camera a little bit there. All in all, I would say this is the strongest episode of the 5-issue miniseries. 5-issue miniseries of the five episode series, and it's the strongest because you really not forced, but you really pushed the story and the characters, and you were still able to develop characters when it felt natural. And basically it shows Eddie and Riley on their journey to go rescue MJ and Peter Peters, which I love the name Peter Peters. His name's Peter Peters, and everyone every time you say the name's like, really? Really? That's the name you're going with? Why not? So let's talk about the some of the notes that I've got here. I've already talked about the first note, which is instant improvement on Stax acting and menace. He finally felt menacing in this episode. For the last episode, he didn't feel that scary to me. He didn't feel like a crime boss. And this one, he felt like definitely a crime boss. Definitely felt more like somebody who you wouldn't want to mess with. I think that's because what I've been talking about throughout this entire review process is stakes. Stakes always have to be up here. I think the stakes were up here for the actor in this particular episode. Let's see, and that was my next comment, was that stakes were raised this episode right off the bat for sure. I love all your cameos, from Malcolm to Tamara and Doug and Rob and Heather and Ayan. All the Channel Awesome crew, Jim, J-Roz. I absolutely love it. I really felt like you could have used Tamara at some point earlier on, but I love the role she was in. And I say that because her acting skills really bring a lot to the table, and I literally mean that, and not just as a silly pun, because they were acting at the table. You really get to see her shine. And the relationship between Felicia and Eddie is a good relationship. I mean, not like a good relationship, but it's a good relationship that you were able to explore, expound upon, and establish within just a few short seconds. So that you probably hear my fiance downstairs yelling at my mother-in-law's dog. Sorry about that. The barn scene is one of the things I want to talk about. That was great writing, and that's what I was talking about. It was continuing to build character. The character building that you have between the two friends, like, you're expounding upon their relationship, you're expounding upon who they are. It's just... One second. Sorry about that. My girlfriend's downstairs watching Once Upon a Time, and I really want to go join her here in just a few minutes. But yeah, what I was talking about is basically the expounding upon the relationship, even though we know what the relationship is and how they react as friends to each other. But you see them grow even closer bonds with each other in the barn, and I felt like it was really good. The next action sequence you've got, Jim, you know, he didn't screw around with his character of Mr. Toombs, which, by the way, love that name, Mr. Toombs. You know, establishes mood for the character, and you know, name is important because there's this idea of what Shakespeare once said. You know, what is a name? That which we call a rose by any other name would smell just as sweet. But names have power. It's like we used to play. I used to play a lot of D&D, and there was one of the things that you did with a magician or a mage or a wizard or anything like that is you never gave something that could take power from you your true name. I think that's also in the, if I'm correct, that's also in the Wheel of Time books, is this idea of true name. And names have power. And that was a very powerful name for that character, is basically what I'm getting at. It didn't feel like a throwaway joke. Well, not even like a throwaway joke. It didn't feel like a throwaway joke. It didn't feel like a funny little running joke like Pete's name, you know, Pete Peters. Eddie's name fits. Felicia's name fits. You know, everybody's names fit, and I love that. It had just such great story progression in this episode, and I loved the Felicia. It's like that's Eddie's character. Even in times of crisis, he can find the humor in everything. And that's the kind of person that we all seek to be, but we don't always become. And that's what makes Eddie a very endearing, loving, kind character. And I love that. Stax is just much more menacing whenever he's standing, because when you see him stand up, he just towers over everybody. And I think if you had him in the last episode stand up, that probably would have sold it for me. Like, you just see him slowly rise as he's like trying to make a point, and you see, and like even the camera kind of goes up with him. It's like that scene in Back to the Future when Marty pushes Biff, and then Biff stands up and he's like, you know, that's really establishes menace, and I think you really used his height to the advantage in that in this episode. Everything just coming full circle in your story was really clean. It was very clear. It was very well done. I loved your fight choreography. I really have nothing to say about it. No improvement comments. This is just a very well-rounded, good episode. Maybe a few gags fell flat, but other than that, if it wasn't for the fact that the character of Eddie is such an endearing, likable character, I don't think those jokes would have worked. I just gotta say, Linda's my hero, or Officer Reyes, as she is later known to be. I really liked that kind of Deus Ex Machina in the back as she comes in. Great title drop, nice little Lean On Me reference at the end. Did I get that right? Lean On Me? It was Lean On Me. Let me make sure I made the right movie reference. Hold on. No, not Lean On Me. That's not it. I can't think of it. It's the one where the boys go find the dead body. Stand By Me. That's what I was thinking of. Stand By Me. Yes, that one. Stand By Me with River Phoenix and Corey Feldman. Great. And who else was in that movie? Jerry O'Connell, Will Wheaton. That's right. Just absolutely great reference to that at the end where you're kind of delving wherever. I don't know if that was intentional or not, again, because the last episode I made a Spider-Man No More reference, and that was an unintentional reference that you did there, but you could see the parallels, and hopefully you see the parallels in this as well. So all in all, I'd say that of all the episodes, the Christmas episode's still my favorite because it's immensely good storytelling. It is really good acting, and I think you have a good progression throughout your entire series. And you definitely see in your series where you start off I won't say weak. You start off good, and you get better. You get really good, and then bam, just knock it out of the park. And that's basically all I really have to say about the Infinity Trinity. It's definitely, if I had to suggest it to people, I would definitely suggest to watch this. This is a good low budget movie that gives you a lot of heart, gives you a great story, gives you a little bit of all elements of any story you could ever want. It's not all over the place. There's a few scenes that are kind of don't really fit, but all in all, it's a great series, and you've got something amazing here. If you had a second season, I would watch it. You know, maybe they're exploring their different relationships that they've got. I love Ben's redemption at the end. It made sense. It wasn't just thrown in there as a pointless MacGuffin. You definitely build on that. I don't think there was much more you could have done with Ben, except there was a couple of times in the past that I'd said, you know, we really need to see more dramatic tension between Eddie and Ben. Like Ben kind of keeping Eddie under his leash, like saying, "Don't bet Eddie, don't do stuff like that, don't do this, don't do that." We could have more comedy with that. So I think you could have pushed it further, most definitely. But I think what you have is good, and that's the thing, Walter. You never ever be afraid to push both yourself, your actors, and your abilities past their limits, because you'll never get better if you don't. And it's advice that even I can take to heart on my own. But I really did enjoy your show, and I can't wait to see what else you do in the future, man. I'd love to see you do more comedy, more physical comedy too, because you're good at it, you're good at directing it, and I think that that would be an excellent next step for you in this particular process. So with that, I don't want to sit here and repeat myself all night. Just thank you for watching these reviews and throwing them out there, and thank you for just making this. Just thank you so much. This was a great little journey that we got to go on as fans, as viewers, as people who sought to be entertained. And I'll definitely pass this on. Again, I want to make a suggestion. If you get a chance, you really need to go talk to. You need to follow my my friend who is a director out in Seattle, and his name is Matt Vansel. He's a director, writer, and he could definitely give you some tips because he's been doing this since college, and he's been part of two very successful production companies based out in the Pacific Northwest, Zombie Orpheus and Dead Gentleman Productions. They do a lot of low budget filming, and I think that, and I wouldn't even really say low budget, it's light, I would say light budget, but they definitely can make something great with something very little. And I think that's something that you could learn from, and you could definitely take his advice to heart. So with that being said, I hope to see more from you in the future, buddy. Bye-bye!